Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fireside. We've got another great match of TF2 on our hands. My name's Tcmano, joined by Mustard Overlord. We've got the amazing Doctor Underscore on production. It's gonna be LeBronstantinople versus Rome over here on CP Process. It should be hopefully a good match. Definitely that Rome might want to win, but very important for LeBronstantinople. But before we get too into things, Mustard Overlord, how are you doing? And what are your thoughts about this match?
I'm doing great, Tcmano. I think some people might look at this match and see it as pretty one-sided, and I would honestly have to agree. I think LeBron and Tanople are heavy favorites. Rome has had a bit of roster turmoil recently. The fact that they have yet to win a match, albeit in a very short single round robin, I think has kind of weighed on them a little bit. They have made a couple roster changes, but they still, like every other team, are alive moving into the next round. LeBron Santinopole, on the other hand, they're kind of in a tenuous position where they feel like they're a tier above a lot of the mid-invite teams, but maybe still a tier below some of the higher invite teams. Not just Froyo, but some of the other top teams we've seen this season. So I would want them to try to make a statement win here to show that they're clearly a cut above. And I guess I'm really looking for a dominant performance by LeBron Santinopole, even if it means we're out of here early. I really want to see them show what they can do.
All right. And as you said, for LeBronstantinople, this is a game that they definitely do want to win because they are 3-3 in the season if they want to get into that Group A part of the next round, the Group A stage, or however the second round's second part of the invite season is going to work. They have to win this match against Rome, and they have to do it fairly dominantly because Cat Posse is also at a 3-3. They got a much harder match against them versus the Covenant. But assuming both teams were to win that, it would come down to the round win percentage, which LeBronstantinople would have to kind of take this fairly dominantly just in case Cat Posse also managed to secure a victory. So definitely a bit of stakes on the line for LeBronstantinople. And on the other side is Rome's, as you were saying. Obviously, a win would be nice to get in the season, whether it comes now, whether it comes later. So they're definitely going to be searching for it. And as you mentioned, from the roster shakeups, I guess we can go through that. Rome losing two of their players, Rive and Raven, have said sayonara to the team. Raven actually joining up with Estrogen, took my homie. But what do you make of this new and maybe improved Rome roster?
I wish I could agree that it's improved. I know you're just
Okay.
using that as a figure of speech. I think Dippity is it's probably a solid side grade from Rive. He hasn't been playing as much recently, but he has a lot of experience. Might even be better in the long run. Who knows? I think losing Raven though is pretty harsh. I thought he was one of the better performers on this team, at least statistically. And Frick My Nick, who they've brought in, does bring more calling experience. He might be playing pocket. I'm actually not sure, but and I guess it makes sense that there was a bit of a swap with Estrogen because he was probably underutilized in his skill set, playing with Pauly, who is already a very experienced caller. Maybe his lack of like high level DM relative to his cons was meant it was a bit superfluous on that team. Maybe he could provide some direction here. That being said, on Process, a map that is very DM heavy, tends to favor strong scout combos. I would favor guys like KJ Quad to sort of run amok on this map.
And speaking of KJ Quad, as we were kind of discussing earlier before the cast, they're actually going to be swapping, or at least that's what it looks like. Judging from the logs, KJ Quad is going to be on Pocket Scout. Wonder is going to be freed up and being able to take the reins on the flank. Do you think that's what LeBronstantinople needs? Obviously, they're still going to be the favorites against this team, regardless of who's on Pocket Scout or Flank Scout. But going into their next round of this invite season, do you think that's going to be kind of like the switch they need to maybe take it to the top teams like Greasy Dot Hogs and the Covenant, or do you think they still need something a bit more?
I have slightly mixed feelings on it, to be honest, because on the one hand, KJ Quad of their two scouts is the monster DMer, right? Ed is just anyone who's run into him on the flank and been forced into a 1v1 with him can attest that his DM is just absolutely absurd. But on the other hand, Wonder, just in terms of like role wise, the way he plays kind of strikes me as more of a pocket scout. When Ed plays pocket scout, things can get a little bit chaotic. He likes to go on those long Uber chases. But that being said, I did think, and I hate to be overly critical, but I did think in some of their big games that maybe Wonder's lack of experience at Combo Scout was showing up in some of the matches. I felt like he was outperformed by players like Shamu and Scratch, in some of their most like proximate rivals. So if there's one thing Ed is not going to do, he's not going to miss his shots at crucial moments. So I do want to point out that they're in a bit of a honeymoon phase with it right now. They seem to be doing pretty well in their scrim results against the teams that they're trying to compete with. So in the short term, at least, I think it'll actually help them. But in the long term, you do wonder whether it's the perfect role balance and whether Wonder will be kind of relegated to a more supportive role on the flank. But, I guess we'll just have to see.
We will indeed have to see, as definitely a must-win and hopefully a very dominant win for LeBronstantinople. Otherwise, they got a lot of great players, as we've seen previously. One thing I do want to speak about, as you were saying, this is going to be taking place over on Process, which can be such a snipe-friendly map. And I don't know too much about the Rome roster. I know Raven was a fairly good sniper, actually. I don't know if he ever off-classed onto it. Do you think they're going to be having to use any off-classes to maybe try and get ahead of LeBronstantinople, or do you think it's just going to be a fairly even 6v6 normal classes?
I'd probably say more towards normal classes. I think Ed and Wonder are both very good snipers. Dippity's decent as well. But I guess what it comes down to is I'm curious how the mid-fights will go, because as it seems like, do we have a pause before the game's even started?
I think so.
Immediate pause, the El Clasico. But yeah, I think if because knowing the way that LeBronstantinople likes to play, you'll see Sax and Speedy with a lot of aggression, a lot of high bombs, a lot of turning eyes on mid. If Rome can withstand those early attacks and not just get destroyed by the scouts running across the point, as it seems like we're restarting the server. I'm wondering.
I think so.
I'm wondering if we got one of those. Oh, it happened so early in the match. Oh, classic.
Well, I mean, that happened a couple of times for those guys in chat. They had the wrong config on, which happened a few times last season. It was a RGL admin, Walrex himself, who forgot to set up the server.
More than once, I believe. But...
Yeah.
Sorry, Walter.
It could happen to the best of us. So hopefully they got everything sorted before they played too far into the match, but hopefully they'll be able to get back in here and we'll be able to ready up fairly quickly. But yeah, you were talking about the soldiers on the side of LeBronstantinople, and I have to agree with you, Speedy and Saxophone. I think last time we casted them together, mustardoverlord, they did really good work together. And so I guess if we might be able to see something like that again. Do you think they're going to be going for those fast soldier bombs onto the demo early in the mid, or do you think it's going to be some other kind of sneaky soldier play?
I'm not sure. My gut would sort of lean towards fast, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to see. They might vary it up. I think with both Speedy and Sax, I would say they're the kind of players who have a lot of impact, but don't necessarily get crazy stats, at least in the way their team's configured now. It seems like they're more the sacrificial lambs on the team, but it'll be interesting to see how the medic deaths go, because at least from what I've seen recently, I feel like Divine has been playing fairly well, and after maybe a bit of a bumpy start, but I think he's been pretty good recently. So I'm wondering how the medic deaths will go as well. I'm starting to try to formulate what my prediction's going to be for this match.
Ooh, okay.
It's funny, pre-Banny config, you would have to be a real psychopath to predict any game to finish with fewer than 5 rounds. I mean, it did happen, but you kind of felt like a Debbie Downer even predicting it. Now I almost feel like it's bold to predict matches, going to 5, but, screw it, I'm going to go 5-1. 5-1 for LeBronstantinople, as it looks like we are going live right away.
We are indeed. They got back into the server and they readied up, going live. LeBronstantinople versus Rome. I'm going to have to agree. I think it is going to be LeBronstantinople walking it away fairly dominantly, but we're going to have to see if we are correct as we go in on this first mid. A lot of space waiting as Rome just get all their players in through choke. Now finally going to be spamming back and forth. No one going, sending it instantly in. Looks like they're trying to rotate onto his left side, take a bit of damage. It's going to be Saxophone who goes down as everyone else on Rome are now just trying to walk across the point. They got a lot of high ground, maybe trying to bomb off onto Jarrett, but it's going to be a flanking soldier in sewer right now, just going to be drawing eyes, and now everyone else on LeBronStantinopole kind of all bundled up by this rock area. They're kind of getting run at by both scouts, but everyone else, the soldiers going in huge, going to be taking down everyone else on Rome, and now it's just going to be Divine left alive. Vio trying to get onto him, but Speedy just comes in and saves his medic. Excellent stuff for the side of LeBronStantinopole. Definitely a bit scrappy there. It was looking a bit dire for a few seconds there, Mustard Overlord, but at the end of the day, they were able to walk away with it with big full Uber ad.
Yeah, I actually wasn't necessarily a huge fan of some of the early soldier plays that mid from LeBronStantinopole. Speedy kind of got stuck in his own team's sewer, and Sax, he had the early high bomb, but he ended up being stuck on the crates. It actually was, it was Rome with early positioning, but Speedy managed to sneak out from the sewer and take down Gately, and meanwhile, Jarrett did an incredible job just playing pocket demo, keeping his med alive, piping scouts away, and gradually, Rome just overextended a little bit, lost their medic, and then it just was sort of desperate as we see a sack onto Divine as LeBronStantinople's trying to get in without using. Good surf by Divine to get back into sewers. There is still that soldier behind now, I believe, or did he manage to escape?
Wonder! He just got onto, that is so huge. He got onto Cadilli. That's going to be a medic taken down. Now, LeBronStantinopole have full Uber ad to work with here. Great stuff from Wonder. He just ran in through lobby, went all the way through one, and got onto them while everyone was looking at the bombing soldier. Now, looks like they're going to be trying to take this in through two. They do have a sniper up. That is going to be Vio. Maybe trying to see if he can get a headshot onto one of the important classes. But yeah, Avril Lavigne fan still in behind, just drawing eyes, trying to delay for as long as possible. Probably not going to be able to get a pick of their own, but might be able to delay just enough that Rome will be able to get Uber during this push. But now LeBronStantinopole, they're taking presence in lobby. They're trying to decide how they want to take this. Going to be using it in through three, bombing in their demo and scout fairly deep here. Now they just got to rotate on the side of Rome. Maybe try and play for this Uber. They got 70%, but they got a long time that they have to try and hold on to this. Now everyone else on the side of a LeBronStantinopole just trying to play the point a bit early, not getting a lot of cap time actually, just trying to bait out the stickies. Now finally getting onto it, but the Uber is so close. Gadilli is so close to getting able to, but they're just gonna be able to cap up the point, Mustard, and take it from right under their noses. Great point play from the side of LeBronStantinopole, taking it 1-0.
Yeah, at first I wasn't so sure how I felt about that push, because I felt like with a soldier all the way behind, fewer players to block the point, and the other team coming close to Uber, you would want to get some more cap time a little bit earlier in that fight, but they just sort of held their ground. The Uber was actually farther away from getting there than a lot of people thought in the server, and they were just gradually able to get cap time. As we're on to another mid, we're actually starting with a bit of a slow spam game from the beginning. Neither team seems to want to be the aggressor. Gradually, it looks like Rome is trying to move left. They're taking positioning on left with Frick My Neck on Seagull, but the health from both teams is starting to go down. Mig with a nice couple pipes on Jarrett. The health is really bad for LeBronStantinopole, but Scuba Steve goes a little too far forward and gets picked off by Wonder. And gradually, yeah, the scout DM is just kind of proving too much for them at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Now they're backed in to the enemy side of the map. It is going to be Rome trying to figure out how they get the heck out of here. Looks like they're going to be trying to take their combo in through IT. They're probably going to have to use here. Oh, just barely uses and saves the soldier who went down so low. Now the demo being flashed in, but it's going to be a bit too late. Everyone is going to be taken down. They might be able to keep Gadilli alive, though, so that is going to be a little bit of a silver lining. They are going to be at still huge Uber ad as the rest of LeBronStantinopole want to try and take the second for free here.
Yeah, that was actually really smart play by Divine, dropping Jarrett in exchange for just hiding and not using Uber at all. As much as it hurts as a demo man to admit that, But, yeah, there was some good early damage there by Rome on mid, but in their attempt to capitalize on it, they got just either their soldiers got a little too aggressive or maybe their scouts were too passive. As we have a full Uber advantage from LeBronStantinopole. We have a sniper-heavy defense as opposed to an NG. Let's see if they pop in early. It looks like they probably are going to. I don't think they're going to get dropped here. Jarrett bombs in. They're just taking ground. There's a potential soldier pick to get on Frick My Nick, but so far no kills. Gradually, we're seeing some damage come in, but I think this is going to be a failed push. The first kill goes to Rome.
Yeah, it does. Is now everyone on LeBronStantiNople heading out of there. A failed last push, and the previous one they had, they were able to convert it, but it was definitely a slower one. So maybe something that they might have to think about. As now Rome are going to be trying to push in. We do see Wonder trying to go for a backhab, takes a 1v1, but eventually runs away. It's deciding to preserve its life. A soldier bombing on the point, a lot of damage onto these Rome players, but no one is able to find the kill. So they're able to cap up second, and now they know they still have Uberhead here. They want to try and take it in through choke. It looks like they're not trying to use immediately here. They want to try and take it for free. Everyone else on the side of LeBronStantiNople backed up. There are stickies on point, but they do get called, and the debt happens. No one dies. Really great aggression from the side of Rome, not losing anyone there, managing to take 2 points with their Uber, and it looks like they want to try and peek in through sewer here, Mustard.
Yeah, it was a great job by them. It's 6v6 with both teams having Uber. Do they realize? It looks Mig is getting really low. I hope they realize that Divine has his Uber by now, and that they can turn this into a sack. They do have good positioning, but oh no, it's not what you want to see there.
That is not Jared with a huge pipe from across the map. I think it might have been spam or just a roller on the ground, but regardless, really great stuff. Speedy going to be taking down Dippity as well, so 2 down for the side of Rome. We do have a soldier in behind, but I think that he is going to get spotted out, as now everyone on the side of LeBronStantiNople just trying to figure how they want to try and push this. Speedy going to be taking down 1 in the side of IT, so they're not going to be able to send anyone else to maybe try and get the force off here. They're going to have to give it up, and now LeBronStantiNople still got full Uber ad. You know that they want to try and take this in all the way to last, but first they got to deal with what Rome have set up on second.
Yeah, Vio, whatever you say it, he's on Sniper. Vio, I'm being told by my fearless producer, but nice shot by Vio actually on the KJ Quad Uber. Luckily, Divine had not used, so it isn't the absolute worst case scenario. They are still going to get 2 for free. Will this give Rome enough time to get their Uber? We'll see. So far, I have to say, I feel like LeBronStantinople's last pushes, I know they're 1 out of 2 in success, but I do think they should get, with the way that Rome's playing it, kind of kiting back into spawn, they should get a little more cap time earlier. Not fully committing. As Sax actually sacks in, I'm a bit confused by that. And maybe they thought it was... Yeah, maybe they thought it was evened out at that point and they were just going for a play, but I would have liked to see an actual, just full Uber ad pushes. Looks like we see a we're better than you player diff advantage push coming in anyways from LeBronStantiNople, but I mean, you can be better than a team, but can you be better than a level 3 sentry gun? So I think this is just going to even out.
A level 3 sentry gun and a fully revved up Brass Beast Heavy is a lot to ask from any team. It's certainly a lot to ask from just that solo Uber that Ed took in, no matter how good of DM he is. So now things might stalemate out, but we do see a lot of damage being done to Rome, but they're able to find 2 picks of their own onto Wonder and Sax, and now they're going to have to try and figure out if they can get any of their players in onto second. They're going to be trying to peek these doorways, see if they can send someone in. They're trying to get through Vio, making a bit of space for his team. It's actually going to be Dippity running through lower, and they are going to be able to get onto second. Everyone else on LeBronStantiNople giving up the high ground. We do see a bomb from a soldier trying to get on the kill. He gets it. Excellent stuff from Speedy, just lurking in upper IT, getting onto the med. Now we see a counter soldier trying to go in onto Divine, not able to find the rockets. Vio still in, runs in through lower IT, but just gets shot out of the sky. We did see, I think that was the other scout Dippity trying to see if he wanted to do something. Another soldier sacking, and everyone's trying to get onto Divine. He was so low, but he's just going to be able to get back all the way into sewer, survive the zombie rush that was headed his way, and now they got full Uber ad to work with here, Mustard.
Yeah, so they're going in through 1, and I do want to say Jarrett's, as that'll stall the push a little bit, the lock and load from Mig, but I have to say Jarrett's pipe aim has been true this game. He's had great spam pills, dropping Gadilia a couple times, or at least once. He's I think a lot of the damage on point was from him and Speedy there, as we do see the Uber ad still being used with, I think, Wonder taking the Uber since Ed had died previously. Good cap time from Wonder actually this time. A lot of good damage, but that Brass Beast Heavy is still in great position, and I think this is eventually going to be a failed push. Although, no! KJ Quad caps right in front of them, Caster's Curse. I was a bit unsure with the damage that had been done, but, I mean, that's one way to win it, I suppose.
Yeah, it does seem that KJ Quad and his team are a bit happy to just kind of take the slower last push and try and eke out the cap fairly slowly, but consistently there, and they're able to take it 2-0. If you're Rome, you're going to want to try and figure out what's going on these mids. They've been playing the spam game pretty heavily, but we're going to have to see if maybe they just let loose a soldier sack fairly quickly, as once again, both teams kind of happy to spam in the early part of this mid. I'm trying to see who can get the better space taken. Jarrett going down fairly low, going to have to ask for an arrow. It does get one in time, as now they're still kind of all clumped up by the rock. They haven't taken a lot of positioning versus what Rome has. They have a lot better high ground, but we've seen this before, Mustard, where it looks like it's headed Rome's way, but just one kill just cleans them up and sends them packing. Now we do see a soldier bombing around. It is going to be Sax trying to get his team back in, trying to give them some space. It's just a war of attrition right now. No one has fallen so far. Excellent job from the medics, keeping everyone up and alive. It seems that we are going to see an Uber come out from Ed, taking it aggressively in. He is going to get one onto Vio, but not anyone else, and now they're just going to have to come back to his medic. He is so low. It is going to be taken down from Dippity. We have a soldier bombing around. Are they going to be able to clean up onto him in time? They're all so low on the point, but now the collapse coming in from LeBronStantiNOPLE. I'm just running over my words as everyone else is dying right now. Everyone on Rome falling. Really great stuff from LeBronStantiNOPLE. Only Dippity alive in a 1v1. Does trade out, so I mean, hey, you got your one, but definitely not the one you would have gotten in that scenario, and pretty sloppy for both teams, honestly.
Yeah, as we see Vio on Sniper here, I have to say for me, the unsung hero of that mid fight was Jarrett. He stayed alive the entire time, completely denied high ground over and over again from Rome, and then when Ed took that solo Uber in while Jarrett was still really hurt behind, he managed to stay alive, reload, keep the pressure up, and eventually pipe Gadilli across the map. So just really good job playing kind of a supportive demo role. He didn't take a ton of heals that mid, but he stayed alive, and as his soldiers were kind of stifled. But we see another Uber coming in. That Brass Beast Heavy continue being a nuisance as Dippity manages to snipe Speedy. There's a lot of damage going on up top, but I think with that Brass Beast Heavy, this should be maybe enough to actually hold on for once. But as I say that, the scouts are getting a lot of cleanup kills, so I'm not so sure.
Yes, and now it is only going to be Gadilli and the scout alive. Gadilli goes down, and it's going to be too much of an ask for Dippity to 1v5 all of those players, or 1v4 regardless. It was looking pretty good for LeBronStantiNOPLE. 3-0. What do you think Rome has to do on these mids if they want to try and get into it? It's been fairly slow. They haven't had to worry about the soldiers, but it just seems that the scout and Jarrett have had their numbers so far.
I think we need to see something coordinated from their soldiers. It doesn't necessarily need to be an early bomb, but I definitely want to see them, at the moment where they choose to aggress, have both their soldiers bomb in and focus the same target, because they're getting a lot of good damage down, actually, Rome. They're just not focus firing very well, and gradually the scouts are able to clean them up. As instead, as I say that, they're getting increasingly passive, and Jarrett and K-Chiquad are able to run across point and just do work. So I feel like they're actually regressing in how they're playing these mids, Rome, to be honest.
Well, luckily for them, even though they might have lost that a bit quicker, they did keep their medic alive, so they don't have to worry about a full Uber ad push, but that is not going to be stopping LeBronStantiNOPLE as they're trying to get a lot of space here. They do have, they did lose a player there in the form of Sack, who went for a play, wasn't able to find it, and now looks like they're just going to back out Jarrett with a few series of surfs there to get all the way out, and now it looks like Rome going to be trying to pressure this IT area. They know a scout is there. They wanted to try and get onto them, got a lot of damage, sending a bunch of their team through IT, but weren't able to find the kill. Now we're going to be heading into a fairly proper stalemate. Ubers are even, and it looks like LeBronStantiNOPLE want to try and pressure through the sewer and Al-Qaeda area.
Yeah, and yeah, they're just trying to work it a little bit. Sax is maybe looking for an angle to bomb. Good spam from Mig with that, that lock and load. Even before that hit, I could tell that he had the angle lined up pretty well. Let's see if Rome gets any counter in. I think, given that, that LeBronStantiNOPLE's already up 3-0, they're not going to risk more than a single sack at a time, most likely, unless Ed decides to take another Uber trade. But yeah, as we see, good work by Wonder actually immediately counter-sacking again. And I think the pressure actually is gonna keep up with the 5v4, at least temporarily, from LeBronStantiNOPLE. Maybe they'll turn this. Yeah, I was gonna say they'll turn it into another soldier sack as Gadilli goes down to 90 health. But Gadilli, thank you, Mr. Producer. But yeah, it looks like we have KJ Quad just bullying them out, and I don't know. I feel like maybe Rome could have taken an Uber trade there and defended it, but I feel like they're gradually just being sort of out alphaed by the DM of LeBronStantiNople, to be honest.
Yeah, they are. It's not really like the big flashy plays like you're saying. It's definitely just the pressure, the constant pressure coming out from LeBronStantiNople, whether it's from Ed or Jared, as we now see them in position to maybe try and take another round. They got Wonder up on Sniper. He's going to be looking for a few angles as he gets his way into lobby. Going to be peeking through 3 initially, trying to see if he can get a shot off. Vio is on the counter sniper, so we might have a little bit of SVS action. See who can click on the best heads the fastest, as he's still going to be peeking through 3. Doesn't quite see anyone just yet. They don't really have a read on where the combo is. Managing to dodge those lock and load pipes that took down one of his soldiers earlier. So just going to be trying to play around both of the snipers, both of these teams. Who do you think is the better sniper? Or, well, we see the first one who gets the first pick. It is going to be Wonder onto a Scuba Steve. Going to be taking him down. But I would like to see them maybe try and send someone in here now that they got a player ad, or maybe send in their sniper a bit deeper. But just going to be LeBronStantiNople maybe trying to focus fire down the sentry gun before they send in one of their soldiers.
Yeah, I mean, this is the process classic. You force the medic to stand in the place where the sniper can't see them against the wall, thus making them a lot more vulnerable to the single soldier sack than they normally would be. But as I say that, Vio manages to counter snipe Wonder, and let's see if Rome goes for something here. It looks like Frick My Nick is looking for a counter sack, but they might run out of time here if they don't take it pretty quickly, and it might end up just resetting. They do have 2 off classes, so it can be kind of difficult. They do manage to pick up sacks, so this increases their chances, but it looks like they use it for Vio to try to take a hero shot, and that doesn't work out, so the ball's back in the court of LeBronStantiNople.
Yeah, it is indeed. And LeBronStantiNople looks like they're trying to pressure one. At least Ed is trying to see if he can maybe get any space whatsoever. No, his combos rotated over to him. But no, he's just going to head back on the second, maybe try and retake presence in lobby. Trying to see if they've got some easy spam angles onto the gun or onto anyone significant, so they can maybe try to start take some space here. Jared with the ever so important dispenser pick, but they had a sniper up. It didn't quite work out. Do you think they're going to maybe try and send in some soldiers? I mean, obviously, they don't really need to do anything. They're up 3-0, and while we do have a continuous overtime, meaning that, Rome don't have to do anything themselves. Oh! They are going to be sacking too. As I blabber on, it is going to be Wonder and Sax going in. They're both going to be taken down. And if you're Rome, you got to try and make something out of this, right?
Absolutely, but they still have Vio on Sniper. I really would have liked to see them switch back to a Scout and try to find a way to at least get a trade or get a better sack using their combo to kind of relieve some pressure. But, I mean, I think this is why, part of why at least, our boys at LeBronStantiNople feel so comfortable with the double sacks, because they don't really feel like a threat. I mean, that being said, it's the Banny config, so we could get another mid here, but honestly, I don't think LeBronStantiNople at the moment is too worried about that. The game's been going pretty well for them, as we do see a spy from Wonder. Let's see if they're aware of this. Actually, there's an Uber trade that happened, so let's see if they don't lose track of the spy around. It looks like Vio's on Pyro, so he might be aware.
Yeah, it might be indeed. I mean, I think that kind of calls on hoping that, oh yeah, he's going to be taken down immediately from the Pyro. Now it looks like there might just be an attempted recollapse from LeBronStantiNople. There's only 20 seconds left on the round timer, so we're just going to try and see if they can sneak this point out from their noses, but I don't think it's going to happen. Everyone is going to be taken down on LeBronStantiNople. They might be able to get on to second just in time if they get on the point just quite now, so maybe that's on LeBronStantiNople for not timing that last push just correctly, ensuring that they wouldn't be able to do that. But now they are going to be able to get out of their last, and they do have full Uber ad. They were able to take down Divine. There is a sniper in forwards. Looks like they have spotted him. Ed should be bullied out here, not able to get a pick, and everyone else in LeBronStantiNople are going to have to head back to their second, and this might be a last to last here, Mustard.
Yeah, I gotta say that was a bit of a sloppy play by LeBronStantiNople, maybe getting a little too comfortable in this match, giving the other team a chance to recap second. As the Uber does come out very early, though, by Rome, getting forced early by Sax, and it is a last to last, but we do have a 30%, 35%-ish Uber advantage on the part of Divine, so let's see if LeBron is able to push out here, if they even have a desire to. I'm guessing that they will. They're probably going to start moving their way either to 1 or to lower lobby, depending on whether they want to milk it or whether they want to bomb out early. I do think it looks like Jared is sort of starting to posture. My guess is that they're going to try to use this, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see as this might be an opportunity for Rome to maybe try and sneak a back cap in if they can get one of their scouts in a sneaky position. Looks like Dippity playing that high ground. They are going to be able to get an early pick on the Wonder, so not too bad for Rome initially. Looks like we do have a soldier flying into 2. He does draw a lot of eyes and is going to be taken down fairly quickly. They lose 1 for 1, not too bad considering they already have the first pick to start with. Looks like Dippity trying to rush upper IT, going for a cheeky play in through there. They do lose another one. Both soldiers going to be taken down, so not a lot of spam to help pressure these chokes, allowing LeBronStantiNOPLE to just walk in fairly for free here.
I got to be honest, man. I really hate the way that that Rome played that. You know, they didn't do a good enough job pressuring the chokes when LeBronStantiNOPLE was first walking in. But then instead of cutting their losses, accepting that they lost it, and just holding mid, they decided to sack in late, and then they lost mid for free as well. So I don't know. I feel like Rome is a bit discombobulated at the moment.
Yeah, it does seem like it, as now they wanted to try and push this IT area. They are going to be able to get 1, but they lose 2 for it. So really great play from both of the soldiers in IT, recognizing what they were trying to do here. Now it looks like they are going to, both soldiers going in. One soldier does kill himself, but they are going to be able to get onto Jared. Great pipe from mid, going to be taking on down. Now the Uber going to be used from KJ Quad, running in so deep. He wanted to get the Uber out from Gadilli, but just going to stay alive, letting his players drop, holding on to it. Great stuff from him. Now they're going to be able to walk back in onto mid with full Uber ad. They want to try and bully out these players, not use if they have to, but a great bomb coming in from Sax going to ensure that they do use. Now everyone else on the side of LeBron are just going to head back to their second. Looks like Rome wanted to try and peek that, see if they could get any ground in for free, but they're just going to have to let things stalemate out. A bit of Uber ad for Divine and his team because they did use a bit earlier, but we're gonna have to see if they try and take it, as it looks like Rome wants to try and dry push this.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to make a play here. It's not working out. Hopefully they only lose that one player. Let's see if LeBron is aggressive enough to try to push up just this one pick, or if they're going to wait for Uber. They might start using it to try to bully their way in for free. I do want to say earlier that showed the value of soldiers like Sax and Speedy that doesn't always show up in the score sheet, because Sax had a really nice force on Gadilli that you wouldn't necessarily expect, given that he was the only one who was even remotely close. There was no real support, and the rest of the team was leaving. As we do see LeBronStantiNOPLE try to use that single pick to bully their way in, and this is kind of calamitous by Rome. They managed to pick off MiG, and there's no Uber force in exchange. If they stack this point, MiG is not going to get forward spawn. I expect to see, LeBronStantiNOPLE still moving directly in. They'll probably be aware of the even Ubers, but they'll probably know that Rome was going to get desperate and try to trade into them, or maybe will end up giving it up. They're just bullying with Jarrett, spamming people off height. This is exactly the way you want to play it when you have a demo advantage. And I think pretty soon Gadilli is going to get forced before Divine, although KJ Quad gets a little overexcited. But yes, this is getting a little close, but I think it's going to be okay at the end for LeBronStantiNOPLE.
It is going to be. We do see Vio just trying to dance on the point just a little bit, maybe try and buy some space for his team, but the collapse from LeBronStantiNOPLE just coming in. They are able to get onto Divine, but they lose everyone else for it. So now they're just going to have to make sure that their respawners are up in time, which they should be. So they're not going to be rolled straight back to last. It's only going to be one scout up. Dippity, he's going to have to try and win this 1v1, but now he does have respawners. So even if he does lose this, which he does, Wonder is going to get the better of him there. His respawners are up and able to help him defend this point. Ubers are even because of both medics did die in that kind of crazy second fight.
We do have a KJ Quad spy. I do want to point that out. He's disguised as an enemy soldier. Ooh, he's doing the dead ringer. Okay, I don't think this is going to end up working out for him, but we'll see. I wonder if that was intentional, or if he forgot to check his loadout. I could accept both, but actually, there's a bit of we're better than you advantage push going from LeBronStantiNOPLE, but in this instance, I don't think it's going to work. But Gadilli goes down again. If Divine and Wender are able to get out, this is going to end up working out for them, I think. This is very unfortunate.
Yeah, that was. I mean, the spy was kind of found out fairly quickly, but didn't die for a long time. And it was just kind of like a straight DM fight from them. And now they are going to be able to get onto Wonder. Really great coordinated spam from them there. That's kind of what you want to see from them for the rest of the match. They are going to be able to cap on the second, so hopefully that'll just buy them a little bit of time. They're still going to not have Uber ads, so you're going to be expecting LeBronStantiNOPLE to try and take this in. Looks like they're going to be opting to at least push it in through IT, maybe trying to get in fairly unspotted Ed is gonna die before the Uber is used, so a scout dropped, and this Uber doesn't find anyone at all. So now it's gonna be Rome with Uber out to try and push out here, but they gotta worry about a sneaky backcap or a sneaky spy.
Yeah, and actually I do like this by Rome pushing out before the cap goes down, just off of that player pick. It was a bit unexpected, and they managed to force LeBronStantiNople back. I like that a lot better than them trying to push out after the cap already goes down because of the backup, like you said. And I would really like to see Rome keep trying to roll this. You know, they need to get some momentum going in this game. I really want to see them just, walk into mid. Not necessarily, obviously, you feel safer if you have Uber, but as another great bomb by Sax, a lot of these solo bombs have been accomplishing a lot, actually. I don't know if it's the timing catching Rome off guard, but another really successful bomb. They got the Force and got MiG, so I wonder even if LeBronStantiNople is going to fully wait for Uber, if they're going to try to go in on the demo pick. Some good bombs by the soldiers of Rome, but they managed to take down Vio, and the cap still hasn't gone down, so this is getting a bit calamitous for Rome at the moment.
It is indeed, as we did see a soldier try to sack in, wasn't able to find the similar success that LeBron soldiers have had so far. And now with Uber ad, it looks like LeBron want to try and take this in. A bit of a trade in the side of IT. Two more players fighting. It is going to be another trade actually in IT. So a lot of trades going on in IT. We are going to see Dippity. Looks like he's going to be trying to fight Speedy. There may be another trade in IT. No, both players just going to let each other live, actually. So, but it is, in all of that chaos, it is still going to be LeBronStantiNople taken up second. There was a backup attempt from Dippity, just a bit too slow to get on that point. Is going to get focus fire down from the two respawners as well. So they got full Uber ad, but luckily all of that chaos did buy enough time for Rome to get their own Uber. So things are once again even on their point. But what we've seen, LeBronStantiNople just kind of push in, just kind of egoing it, as that is what it looks like Wonder is. He's gotten so far, he's all the way up in their heaven, actually. He should be spotted, but no one's going to fight him just quite yet. They are going to be able to take down Sax, who tried to bomb in, and everyone else on the side of LeBronStantiNople just kind of bombing in. They are going to be able to use their Uber, traded onto the point by the side of Rome. Now it's just going to be a straight DM fight right here. Looks like a lot of damage done onto Jarrett, but just the scouts and Jarrett going to be focusing, firing everyone down on Rome, and they are going to get onto the point. Yeah. Definitely a really great play from the side of LeBronStantiNople.
It's getting pretty ridiculous just how confident LeBronStantiNople is. They pretty much feel like at any point, if they get both teams' Ubers out of the way, that they can just immediately win the refight just with better DM and better coordination. And you know what? They've been right most of the time. So you were right. It is kind of a cocky play, but Rome has to find a way to use their defender's advantage, find, the first doorway that players go in and instantly kill them. If these guys are allowed to run around their last for the whole time, then eventually holding the defender's advantage won't matter. As we see another mid-fight, a bit of an early bomb, but great surf by Divine, although Frick My Neck manages to clean up, and we're getting some good trades back and forth. It's a 3v3, but the health of the scouts is still pretty good. And Wonder and KJ Quad are going to work. I think they're gradually going to win this, unless Vio can have a miraculous cleanup, but at the end of the day, those scouts were both still really healthy. That was a better attempt, I think, by Rome. They did manage to get some good bombs off. They did take down Divine, but the scouts are just playing on another level right now for LeBronStantiNople.
Yeah, it is really great stuff from Ed and Wonder. We talked about them early, and Ed definitely showing why he is so well known and kind of feared in the Invite division, doing a lot of work for his team. And like you said, a bit better for the side of Rome. They were able to get on to Divine. They sent a kind of aggressive double soldier bomb, and they were able to find him. Unfortunately for them, Gidilli did die. So it is going to stalemate on their second, but luckily they don't have to worry about an initial Uber ad push coming out here, as both teams just try and build it up and try and figure out how they want to work in from there. We do see a little bit of action happening in IT, but no one commits just quite yet, so it's just going to be on LeBronStantiNople to try and figure out how they want to take this. They've had some success getting some early picks, or just like walking in, even if it's a kind of full Uber ad, and just trading it out and winning the refight. So we're going to have to see if that's what they opt to do again. Looks like they got their combo in Sewer, however, so maybe they want to try and draw some eyes here as they send in one of their soldiers. Looks like Speedy may be getting ready to sack just a little bit. He's kind of playing close by Choker, maybe anticipating a bomber. So it does look Like one soldier tried the high bomb there, wasn't able to find much of anything, but now Ed just walking in, recognizing there's a bit of space, and he's just going to be dancing into no man's land. It is going to be them picking up the soldier early. Now the bomb comes in from Sax, buying a lot of space for his team. They do lose their demo, Jarrett, so that might stuff any ideas of a push that they had. It's one thing if you get a soldier, another thing if you get Jarrett, who's been doing so much work for them. Now this has got to be a call for Rome to try and take some space on mid here.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to get a better opportunity than with a demo down, but at the same time, yeah, KJ Quad is not going to make it easy for them. And it looks like this is just going to end up evening out. Although Wonder sneaks in behind and manages to force Gadilli, so this is going from bad to worse. As Jared is all the way back up already, Gadilli is hurt. They have to go all the way back to 1, and I think we might even see LeBronStantiNOPLE walk in without being forced. We'll see how it plays out, but it looks like they're trying to just bully their way through choke, and the players of Rome are still really far back, so this might be, if Rome isn't careful, this might be a second to last again.
It could be. We did have a sniper just up there for a short while.
Oh, nice shot
really
by Nate.
great. Yeah, going to be taking down Jarrett. So at the very least, it might buy enough time for Gadilli to get their own Uber. They're at 70% right now. So as long as they get a sentry gun up, which they do, they should be able to lock down anything that LeBronStantiNOPLE want to try and peek just for the moment. And Gadilli coming up at 100%, so they are going to be able to even things out here. But, I mean, as we've kind of said before, Mustard, an even Uber doesn't mean much to LeBronStantiNOPLE. They're just kind of happy to walk through any door and try and see if they can get some space, as we are going to see a fight by 5. It is going to be Wonder taking down the soldier with the help of his own soldier.
Oh, no.
We do have a spy up on the field. Vio not able to get the stab. Unfortunate for him, but now 2 down on the side of Rome. They've got to play so well here and so coordinated. The sentry gun does go down. Gadilli at so low, and he's going to be taken down from a single sack by the soldier. Now it's going to be a call for LeBronStantiNOPLE to just run in. They used the Uber. They didn't really need to. Everyone is dead. They're just going to cap it up, making it a 5-0.
I guess I was right that it would go to 5, but I was a little too generous with Rome giving them that round, and that was pretty comprehensive, you know. I've been trying to give, players of the match in some of our games, Tcmano, but it's hard to pick one in this game. It was just such a one-sided match. I mean, I'm looking at the stats right now, Jarrett, massive top damage. You could easily go with him. 40% Iron Bomber accuracy, just raining hell, just ridiculous damage the whole game. KJ Quad with his Ubers, both soldiers, especially Sax with great bombs. Divine only died 3 times, took only 61 damage per minute, This was just all 5 mid fights eventually, although some of them were close for a while. All 5 mid fights were won by LeBronStantiNOPLE, and I mean, honestly, the only reason it wasn't more comprehensive is a combination of LeBronStantiNOPLE beefing a couple last pushes and just in general kind of playing a little sloppy at times when they were getting cocky and they already felt like they had the advantage. It didn't really feel like there were any points where they were comprehensively losing fights for any like reason that would carry over for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it did seem like any time that Rome got into the match, it was mostly because of LeBronStantiNOPLE's error or, like you said, overly cocky plays. But still, definitely the showing that you wanted if you were LeBronStantiNOPLE winning this. And so dominantly as well, a clean 5-0 means that even if Cat Posse wins and it's a close game, they would still be above them and being able to go into Group A, maybe kind of solidifying them, as you said, as one of the top teams in invite. And if they can take this momentum against these kind of lower invite teams, they might be able to convert it into some wins against teams like Greasy Dot Hawks or the Covenant. But I guess if we're talking about MVPs, it's got to be Jarrett. I mean, like, Ed did a lot of work. The soldiers did a lot of work that, like you said, doesn't actually know. I'm saying that, and I'm seeing just how much that Gadilli died over Divine. Divine only died 3 times. So that's, I guess, expert stuff from Divine to be able to surf there, but also excellent stuff from his team to deny any attempt that the soldiers on Rome had on his life. So I might have to give it to the soldiers on Rome, actually. Speedy and Sax. I'm going to give it to both of them. A dual MVP. They did a lot of work making sure they had Gadilli's number and kind of making his game pretty unfun.
Yeah, I guess I'll give mine to Jarrett just so someone does, because I feel bad if none of us do when he puts up performance like that. But yeah, I guess ultimately my main takeaway from this game is So far, it looks like the KJ Quad Pocket Scout and Wonder Flank Scout is working fine, right? KJ Quad had some great
Yeah.
Ubers. Wonder managed to get behind a lot. He wreaked havoc. It didn't seem like his lack of experience on the flank was really costing them. The question is, will that hold up? Will that hold up against better teams? Honestly, because you could easily see a world where Wonder, a lot of these aggressive plays he's working get snuffed out early and he dies a lot. You could see a world where KJ Quad's aggressive Ubers get punished more. But if it does end up working out the way it did in this match, then I mean that's a big boost to LeBronStantiNople, and suddenly maybe the Covenant and Greasy Dot Hogs aren't that much above them anymore. So that's what I want to see.
I definitely agree. 100%, because like you said, a lot of the stuff LeBronStantiNople, if they just kind of get locked out from those chokes, just kind of a little bit harder, a little bit more comprehensively, then they won't be able to kind of flood in and just kind of dance on all the space as they were doing. Ed did it so many times. He just walk in the second, and he just lived for so long. No one was able to kind of focus fire him down just enough. And against better teams, like you said, that might not be the case. But we are going to have to see, as along with this in the Covenant match, this was the last match of this first part of the Invite 6 this season. We're going on to part 2, which is going to be the playoffs before the playoffs, the seeding before the playoffs begin, which should be pretty interesting. Obviously, kind of a new invite season structure. I guess before we sign off, I wanted to get your thoughts on it, Mustard Overlord. Do you think it's going to produce some exciting matches? Do you think it's better for the invite scene overall? Or I guess what are your initial thoughts of it as we kind of enter the 1/3 marker?
I think it could end up being pretty interesting. I was a little surprised to learn that none of the teams get eliminated in this first round. My brain had just, I guess no one ever said this, my brain had just sort of written in the idea that the bottom two get dropped and we enter sort of a top 6 bracket. That might,
Yeah.
I guess you could argue that given how short the first part of the season is, that would be a little too brutal for those bottom teams to be just to have like the longest off season in history as they wait for everything else to finish. But I do wonder if something like that to raise the stakes, but I understand the counter argument too. As not to divert away from your question, but I want to point out I'm looking at the stats and it seems like, I don't know if the match is over or not, but it seems like Cat Posse was actually able to take down the Covenant, or at least they're winning at this time. So I think it's actually over. I'm looking at the stats. Shining Star with a beastly game, going 33-6 on Snakewater. So that's a pretty interesting result. I'm wondering how that works out in the standings, if that ends up if LeBronStantiNople did enough to still get top 4 with the 5-0. I guess smarter people than me will have to run the permutations, but some interesting
Well,
results
yeah.
to close out the last day.
It is interesting indeed, and even more important that they were able to win as dominantly as they did, because we were talking about it earlier. If Cat Posse won, but LeBronStantiNople didn't have as dominant as a win, they might have lost out to that Group A seeding just based on the round win percentage. But I think they should be able to sneak it away. It was I just updated it,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a 50% win rate versus Cat Posse's 47.36.
Brutal.
So yeah, extremely close between the 4th and 5th seed right there. But that just shows that, every round does matter, especially with this new seeding structure. So exciting to see it, because there's actually 3 teams all at a 4 and 3 what is it? Score at the moment. The Covenant, LeBronStantiNople, and
Yep.
Cat Posse. So
Yeah, and by the way, can I just say shout outs to Greasy Dot Hogs, because they managed to, even though they were considered going into this season around the same tier as some of these teams, not get dragged down into them. They're 6-1. They only lost to Froyotech. Even that was a pretty close game, as close as you could expect given the circumstances, and just really good job by them to, at least in this first stage, clearly look like the second best team now. There's a ways to go. Maybe Sin Karma will be countered at some point. Maybe someone will find a way to stop that madman, but it'll be interesting to see if they can manage to keep that separation.
it will be indeed, and hopefully we got a lot of exciting matches on the horizon, both in terms of invite as we go into kind of like the group 2 or group stage 2. I'm not quite sure how to word it, but as we go into the next stage of the invite season, hopefully we got some exciting matches. But we're also going to have some continued coverage of all the other divs as well. We got Trial by Fireside as well, Advanced Main, and I am still going to be watching those for some exciting games. I am tomorrow, actually. It's going to be my team, Brown Moment, versus another team. Not quite sure which, but hopefully you guys stick around and watch that. As always, we got a lot of great games here on Fireside, so make sure you follow us. Mustard Overlord, it was such a joy casting with you. You've always got really great insight on the game, and so it's always great to hear you talk about it and hear you kind of discuss these teams and their strategies every time we cast together. Doctor Underscore, thank you for production as always. Mustard Overlord, do you have any quick shout-outs before we head out?
Not really. I don't know. Shout out to the NBA draft. That was really that was pretty cool. No, I just hope we get a good second round of the season. I hope that maybe one of these teams can emerge to be the Froyo challenger, but I'm not gonna count on it. But it'd be cool. So let's hope for a good next round.
All right, let's indeed hope for a good next round. We'll be there to cover all of the action that we possibly can. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Good night.